I'm Samantha Bee. It's almost election day in America, and I'm filled with so many emotions. Pride, terror, excitement, day drunk. Is shitting blood an emotion? And I'm not the only one who's excited.
Even though Election Day is Tuesday, some 33 million people have already voted. It's a record for the early vote for midterms. We could be on our way to our first ever midterm with 100 million voters.
100 million? That's how many people watched Roots. Oh, God. I hope it's the same people. You know, it is amazing to see everyone so engaged. In fact, in at least 3 states, early voter turnout has already surpassed the total number of voters in 2014. That is incredible. I mean, doesn't that fill you all with hope? Well, shut up. Hope is for closers. An election isn't the kind of event where you're just amazing just for being there like the Oscars. It's a day when only winning matters, like the Emmys. One of these days, John Oliver, one of these days. Absolutely anything could happen tomorrow. Democrats could take the House and miss out on the Senate. Republicans could hold on to both. All of Florida's ballots could be lost when Rick Scott unhinges his jaw and swallows them. Anything! You cannot take this election for granted. I certainly won't make that mistake again. I have a full-on Ben Affleck level back tattoo that says Hillary Clinton is the president and my favorite show is House of Cards. You have to fight to the end. This dude is gonna work it until the finish, just like he has never done for a woman in bed. He has had 5 rallies in 5 states in the last 2 days. He's never even seen his 5 children in 2 days. And at every one of his rallies these last few weeks, he's painting the most terrifying image of America possible.
Democrats are openly encouraging millions of illegal aliens to break our laws, violate our borders, and destroy our nation. Democrats want to invite caravan after caravan of illegal aliens.
Gillum pledged his support to end all borders. So when you have people camping out on your front lawn, remember Gillum.
I apologize for even putting that sludge on your TV, but this stuff is so awful, it's hard to look away. Trump is like a magician who distracts from the card up his sleeve by actually sawing a woman in half. Trump didn't just whip up a racist frenzy in big ways, he did it in subtler ways too, like when he called Georgia gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams unqualified. He doesn't care about qualified. He appointed the schools need guns because a Bears lady to run the education department. His son's wedding planner is running housing in New York. He set aside 2 White House positions so his daughter and son-in-law would have somewhere to go during the day to escape the sun. And the best argument he could come up with against the Yale-educated former minority leader of the Georgia House is that she isn't qualified enough? I mean, speaking of unqualified, Abrams' opponent, Brian Kemp, has launched a last-minute campaign of dishonest shitbaggery.
Georgia Democrats there blasting Republican gubernatorial candidate Brian Kemp after he accused Democrats of trying to hack into the state's voting system. Kemp, who is in charge of elections as Georgia's Secretary of State, says his office is now launching an investigation into this matter, although few details were disclosed in his statement.
That's right. The guy who has on multiple occasions tried to suppress the vote has the nerve to say that Democrats are doing something fishy. Dude, a judge ruled against you last week over your attempted voter suppression. This is like if a Harlem Globetrotter tried to call a foul on a Washington general. Man, you are on a ladder. According to CNN, what Kemp was calling a hack was actually a series of emails from Democrats and a cybersecurity firm to alert officials to a potential vulnerability on the state's voter information page. But don't accuse me of robbing a bank when all I actually did was say, hey, bank, did you know your safe was open? You know, some politicians do have a little more integrity than this Keystone cyber cop. Shout out to Heidi Heitkamp, North Dakota's Democratic senator, who very possibly could lose her seat because of her vote against Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation.
If this were a political decision for me, I certainly would be deciding this the other way. But you know, there's an old saying, history will judge you, but most importantly, you'll judge yourself. And that's really what I'm saying. I can't get up in the morning and look at the life experience that I've had and say yes to Judge Kavanaugh.
It's a decision she knows could cost her her job.
If it all comes down to that decision for some voters, was it worth it?
Yep. I mean,
No regrets?
No, I have no regrets.
For the first and probably only time in my life, I wish I lived in North Dakota. Feeling over. But it is always inspiring when the belief that cost you your job is standing up for survivors of sexual assault, not your love of blackface. Good luck tomorrow, Heidi. You're a class act either way. Of course, losing a Senate seat doesn't mean your life is over. And if you're Arizona Republican candidate Martha McSally, you might even have a more promising backup career as a pop star. Or so she seems to think, since she sings in public more often than she holds town halls.
Can you see by the dawn's early light?
That's one way to shatter the glass ceiling. By the way, McSally, who voted against the Affordable Care Act at every opportunity, now lies that she is leading the fight to cover pre-existing conditions, which is offensive, but not quite as offensive as what she does to the national anthem. Look, I know the phantasmagoria of lies and racism and scaremongering has been exhausting, but all that shit has been exhausting us for 2 years. Now, we finally get to do something about it. You are all like elite marathon runners, but for horrified rage. You've been training at altitude for 2 years. Now it's time to do the thing. If you haven't yet, make a voting plan. Here's mine. Enjoy a heavy breakfast of 3 different potatoes because, girl, you deserve. Wear your stretchiest pants and bring a yoga ball to sit on when your pussy starts to hurt. I'm sorry, that's actually from my birthing plan, but it also applies here. We'll be right back.